It was when I went to work for André Charlot that I really took off. I went into a show of his called Just Fancy, halfway through its run. He must have been pleased enough with me because he put me into his next review, this Jumble Sale, as the second star girl. I always used to do impressions of people, and during rehearsals for Jumble Sale, Charlot, who had heard about them, said he wanted to see them. I was, and am, terribly nervous on the stage, and when I did my impressions for Charlot, I was not very good. He thought he'd better not take a chance on them. Do you remember Eric Blore, the lovely man who appeared in the early Rogers and Astaire films, always playing very pained valets and butlers? He was the comic in Jumble Sale, and he went to Charlot and said, look, for goodness sake, let her do these impressions. I've seen them, and I know she can do them. So Charlot gave me 3 or 4 spots for them, and that's where stardom began for me. Among others, I did Edith Day and Phyllis Monkman and even my father. And at the end of the show, the audience went wild and called for a speech from me. My mother was sitting in the front row and said, I believe, if she cries, I'll kill her. All I could think of was to say, ladies and gentlemen, I've never made a speech in my life, and burst into tears, and that was that. But it was Jumble Sale for Charlot that led to the starring ultimately in Nanette and Sonny. One of the lovely things about the Dippers was the fact that I had one of Ivan Novello's very earliest theatre songs in it, Dusky Nipper. After Katinka, I went into another Charlot review called Puppets, and in that show there was this gorgeous song of Ivor's, which I did, April's Lady. All that exists of it these days is a rather raspy old recording, but it is a gorgeous little song, and I think I can remember the words. April's Lady, that's what she's called. April's Lady keeps you enthralled. When you see her in her light-coloured gown, she's the sweetest figure in town. And lilting laughter, fresh as a rose, follows after wherever she goes. Though the dreary days of winter time are here, still she seems to say the daffodils are near. April's Lady, so I found, makes it springtime all the year round. Those Charlot reviews were our nursery, really, because Charlot had that wonderful feeling for giving young people a chance. Bea Lynn, Gertie Lawrence, Jessie Matthews. He gave all of us our first big chances, and then he encouraged us to develop whatever our talents were. He provided us all with great opportunities because those Charlot reviews were always so imaginative. In Puppets, well, that's what we were. Old Arthur Chesney played a travelling showman. He and his little boy, who was Frankie Lawton, aged about 14 then, had this big theatrical basket. And at the beginning of the show, they brought us all out as puppets, as the Muses. And we were put into funny positions and then came to life. I played Thalia, the Muse of Comedy. And I was put in a very funny position one night. I got married very quietly during the run of Puppets and didn't tell anyone about it. I did 2 shows on my wedding day, and at the evening performance, when I was brought out of the basket, instead of playing my music, the orchestra played the wedding march, and the house came down. They were delighted. You know, that was what was so wonderful about those audiences then. Somehow they had a more personal feeling for you. You seemed to have more rapport with them, and